In a bustling high school hallway, Emma's phone rang unexpectedly.
Angry, is this Emma? This is the Haining Street Police Station. You are currently involved in an online fraud case. Angry, what kind of scam call is this? If you have the guts, come to my school and catch me.
The next second, a handsome guy in a blue police uniform approached her with a smile.
Shy, is it possible that such an extraordinary guy exists in Highshire? My face flushed. Could he be trying to flirt with me?
The handsome guy stopped and waved the phone in his hand.
Friendly, I'm here to catch you.
James pushed the documents in his hand towards me and gave a brief overview of the case.
A person with the online alias Rabbits Don't Eat Grass near their burrows, named John, has been scamming people in various fan groups by pretending to offer custom novels. He has defrauded millions from different victims. Recently, dozens of victims have reported him collectively.
I remembered that I had just arranged for a story with him last week.
When I opened WeChat, I saw 99 plus messages, mostly from my mom urging me to go on blind dates, aside from a few concerned messages from my roommates. When I scrolled to John's WeChat, I sent him a question mark message, only to be met with a red exclamation mark.
You're not very bright, are you?
James looked at the red exclamation mark on my phone screen and shook his head gently.
The foolish beauty from Highshire Police Academy lives up to her reputation.
My face started to feel warm from James' comment. I pretended to check my phone messages, burying my face. When I looked up again, James was resting his head on his hand, smiling at me with an elegant and lazy demeanor. The moment I looked at him, he quickly shifted his gaze to the phone on the table.
Can I see your chat history with him?
I nodded and handed him my phone. James was intently reviewing the chat records.
Is there anything you need clarification on, James?
Emma, there are some things I don't quite understand. Can you explain them to me?
Where, James?
When he mentioned terms like yandere, female lead's mother, explicit content, and no fourth love, Emma was completely stunned, as if turned to stone.
Is it hard to explain?
It's not hard to explain. It's just. I'm afraid you won't accept it.
No worries, I can accept anything.
James's smile felt like the warm breeze from the Aegean Sea hitting Emma's heart.
Since you said you can accept anything, I'll answer honestly.
At first, James smiled, but as Emma went on, his brows furrowed tighter and tighter. The interrogation room was quiet as James returned. I stood up immediately, trying to explain myself.
Officer, I'm a good citizen. I haven't committed any online fraud.
I know. With your intelligence, Emma, you wouldn't be capable of such things.
Although what he said was true, it felt a bit insulting.
By the way, my name is James. I used to attend the Highshire Police Academy.
Officer James, do we know each other?
We know each other, but not well.
James smiled meaningfully, leaving me even more curious. Just as I was about to ask more, he changed the topic.
All right, let me explain the case to you.
After leaving the police station, I watched 30 videos of handsome guys to console myself for not getting James's WeChat. Unexpectedly, as I approached the dormitory, I overheard my roommate Sophia talking behind my back. To be honest, Sophia is quite a delicate beauty and has had no shortage of admirers during our 4 years in college. However, she considers herself superior and believes only wealthy heirs are worthy of her. Throughout these 4 years, she has tried every means to get into the circles of the rich.
Emma, if I had your looks, I would have snagged a rich husband long ago and wouldn't have to deal with these losers.
Despite her words, she never refused the gifts from her admirers. She is the epitome of someone who is both hypocritical and materialistic. She treats ordinary people with disdain and takes advantage of them, while she flatters and is courteous to those she considers wealthy.
No wonder Emma often buys new clothes and shoes. Turns out it's all from fraud.
I pushed the door open and interrupted her unceremoniously.
Really? All my money comes from doing photography gigs, and it's all clean.
I glanced at the Chanel bag on her desk and warned.
As for how you got your stuff, everyone knows the truth.
Sophia's face turned pale instantly. She looked at me in disbelief and then climbed into bed, pretending to be asleep.
Did I guess right that she's being kept? Is that why she didn't dare to refute me?
After the drama ended, Lily, who had been editing videos, asked me a few questions indifferently. Grace, on the other hand, enthusiastically pulled me to sit on her bed and inquired about my day.
What happened today, Emma?
I met this super handsome officer who took my statement.
With a shoo, Grace pulled the curtain around my bed, covering me completely.
I saw her secretly filming you just now.
I noticed too.
After I recounted my experience of being scammed, Grace breathed a sigh of relief and deliberately raised her voice.
Emma, you were really scammed badly.
After Grace finished speaking, I heard Sophia turn over in her bed. The next day, Sophia unusually joined us for a meal at the cafeteria. When I picked my food, she picked the same. To match me, she even took the zucchini she hated the most. After getting her food, Sophia sat directly across from me and took out her phone to start recording a video.
Mom, I'm out having a meal with my roommates. Look, these are my roommates. Aren't they pretty? Emma, give us a smile.
I gave a polite smile as she tapped her thumb twice on the screen. Then she took a picture of her plate, her face lighting up with joy.
You guys eat. I'm heading back.
She stood up and dumped all the food she had just gotten into the trash.
I wonder what she's up to now. Such a waste of food.
The next second, her eyes lit up with excitement.
Emma, look, a handsome guy.
I followed her gaze and saw James in casual clothes, holding a tray and looking for a seat.
Oh my, isn't that the officer who took my statement the other day?
James heard my voice, saw me, and smiled faintly. I quickly lowered my head, pretending nothing had happened. When I looked up again, James was already sitting across from me.
Emma, what coincidence.
James, it really is.
I buried my head in my food. Grace, with her naturally sociable personality, immediately struck up a conversation with James. She talked non-stop, like someone who had been isolated for 30 years and was finally seeing the light of day, occasionally bringing me into the conversation. Thanks to Grace, it took less than 3 minutes for me to learn why James was at the school. It turned out the school had invited their police department to hold an online fraud prevention seminar in the auditorium next Friday. There were 2 pieces of bad news. First, as a victim of fraud, I had to share my experience in front of the entire school. Second, my counselor had invited my mom to attend the event. As I was pondering how to break the news to my mom, James pointed at the untouched chicken leg and sweet and sour ribs on my plate.
Emma, don't you like meat? Why haven't you touched it?
James was definitely hinting at something. I was just trying to appear ladylike in front of him, thinking it was ungraceful to gnaw on bones.
James, I'm on a diet.
I see. What a pity. Wasting food is shameful. I'll help you with it.
With that, I could only watch as James took the chicken leg and sweet and sour ribs from my plate.
Thank you, James.
You're welcome.
When James returned, Emma immediately stood up to explain.
Officer, I'm a good citizen. I haven't committed any online fraud.
I know. With Emma's intelligence, you wouldn't be capable of online fraud.
Although what he said was true, it sounded a bit insulting to Emma.
Officer James, do we know each other?
His tone carried a hint of reproach.
We know each other, but not well.
James smiled meaningfully. Emma was about to ask more when James suddenly changed the topic.
All right, let me explain the case to you.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. After spending 2 days browsing James's social media using Grace's account, I came to a conclusion.
His abs are incredibly attractive. I want to touch them.
Narrator, tone, excited. On Wednesday evening, Grace suddenly messaged me.
Grace, tone, excited. Come quickly to the snack street next to the north gate of the school. James is having dinner.
Narrator, tone, excited. She even attached a photo of James sitting alone at a barbecue stall. Upon receiving the message, I quickly changed clothes. Just as I was ready to leave, I heard a click.
Emma, tone, annoyed. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Sophia, tone, shy. Since we're about to graduate, I wanted to take some photos as mementos.
Narrator, tone, relieved. Seeing that I was fully dressed in the photo, I didn't bother arguing with her and hurried to find James. The police station where James worked was just a street away from our school. It was even closer than the distance from my dorm to the cafeteria. When I arrived, Grace was already sitting next to James.
Grace, tone, cheerful. Your favorite grilled eggplant.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. She placed a serving of grilled eggplant in front of me.
Emma, tone, cheerful. Thank you.
Grace, tone, cheerful. You should thank James. He ordered it especially for you.
Emma, tone, curious. Come on, what other surprises do you two have that I don't know about?
James, tone, friendly. Have you submitted photos for the school's 70th anniversary celebration?
Narrator, tone, serious. For the 70th anniversary of the police academy, the school was holding a photo submission event online. Any student, past or present, could submit photos that showcased campus life. The school would then create a video to be played on the anniversary day.
Emma, tone, serious. No. Have you submitted any, James?
Grace, tone, curious. Yes, what about you?
Emma, tone, honest. We haven't decided yet. I don't think I have any suitable photos.
James, tone, hopeful. Photos from military training or extracurricular activities are all acceptable. Give it a try. If your photo gets selected, it will be preserved on the school's website forever as a memento.
Grace, tone, cheerful. That's right. You have a particularly funny photo from military training.
Narrator, tone, cheerful. Moments later, she found a photo of me being punished by the black-faced instructor during military training.
Grace, tone, cheerful. By the way, Emma, that nickname, Clumsy Beauty, was given to you by him.
Emma, tone, joking. Yeah, I still wonder how the instructor managed to get so tanned. This photo actually looks pretty good, making me look especially fair.
Ever since that barbecue with James, Grace often invited him out for meals. Maybe it was on Emma's mind too much, but she even dreamed about James at night. In the dream, he turned into the stern-faced instructor who used to give her a hard time during military training.
Emma, you need to improve. How can I get you to take this seriously?
What do I need to do to make you stop scolding me?
James pointed to his cheek.
Give me a kiss.
The dream ended abruptly there. When Emma woke up, her heart was racing uncontrollably.
Oh no, I've fallen in love.
Just as Emma was thinking about how to win James over, Lily came in.
Emma, there's a guy downstairs looking for you.
Downstairs stood a tall, muscular guy over 6 feet. When he saw Emma, he immediately approached.
Emma, you've been through a lot. You've lost weight recently. Do you have enough money? If not, I can give you some more.
Emma looked up at the banner in front of the dormitory that read, "Beware of online fraud." Our photography student Emma was scammed out of 18,000 yuan, and remembered Grace gossiping about how some classmates wanted to organize a donation for her. She fell into deep thought.
Thank you, but it's really not necessary.
No problem. We're friends. No need to be so polite.
The guy stepped forward, trying to take Emma's hand, but she subtly avoided him. His expression changed slightly, but he quickly put on a smile again.
I understand the rules. My mistake.
What kind of talk was that, making Emma sound like a mob boss? She was confused and didn't want to continue the conversation.
It's fine. I'll head back now.
All right.
He stood there watching her go upstairs. When he returned, I immediately stood up and addressed him.
Officer, I'm a good citizen. I haven't done anything wrong online.
I know! With your intelligence, Emma, you wouldn't be capable of online fraud.
Although he was right, his words felt a bit condescending.
By the way, my name is James. I used to attend the Haishur Police Academy.
Officer James, do we know each other?
We know each other, but not well.
James smiled meaningfully, leaving me curious for more. But he quickly changed the subject.
All right, let me explain the case to you.
Thursday evening, as the sky darkened and the shadows of the trees grew longer, I quickened my pace. When I reached the flower bed where the stray cats usually gathered, I saw several cats surrounding a tall boy. He was gently petting the cats, who were eating cat food at his feet.
Hi, what a coincidence. You're here to feed the cats too.
I emptied the chicken breast from my plastic bag onto the ground, and the cats, attracted by the smell, gathered around.
Isn't Emma not at school?
I was taken aback by his out-of-the-blue question when James's voice suddenly sounded behind me.
Emma, have you finished feeding the cats? If so, I'll walk you back to the dorm.
I had run into James at the cafeteria when I was buying the chicken breast, and he had offered to walk me back to the dorm. I asked him to wait at the garden entrance while I fed the cats. As James walked over to me, the boy's frown deepened, and he asked harshly,
Who is he?
I was about to say he was a police officer when James put his arm around. On Tuesday evening, Emma and Grace were at a hot pot restaurant near the school, enjoying their meal while looking at the recent check-in photos James had sent Emma. In the photos, James's 8-pack abs shone under the cool lighting.
James is the perfect example of someone who looks slim in clothes but is muscular underneath.
Looking at James's photos every day is making me crave him.
James is handsome and well-built. Emma, if you manage to win him over, you could touch those abs every day.
Do you think I don't want to? James is such a strange person. If he doesn't like me, why does he keep sending me these photos of his abs and occasionally chatting with me? But if he does like me, why doesn't he talk to me more, apart from the daily check-ins?
Have you ever asked him out alone?
I want to, but I haven't had the chance. We're about to graduate, and on weekends when I go home, my mom keeps a close eye on me, trying to set me up with her friend's son.
I see.
Grace grabbed Emma's phone and quickly typed something.
Done.
The screen showed that Emma had asked James to go to a photography exhibition on Friday.
Quick, retract it!
Just then, Emma's phone vibrated. James had replied.
Sure, what time on Friday afternoon?
Emma stared at her phone in disbelief. Grace nudged her shoulder.
Reply quickly. You can't let this handsome guy slip away.
Snapped out of her daze by Grace's push, Emma started typing a reply. As they walked back to the dorm, Emma was still in a daze, unable to believe that James had agreed so easily. On Wednesday, I was trying on outfits in the dorm for the exhibition on Friday.
Emma, even if you're good looking, you can't just wear a sack to a date.
I held up my ripped jeans and retorted.
This is not a sack.
Grace walked over and pointed to a red dress.
Trust me, wear this. It'll definitely win over James.
Haha, we'll see. James is so hard to figure out.
As we were all chatting about James, Sophia, who had been lying on her bed, suddenly sat up, fully energized, and walked out with her phone. Who knows who sent her another gift? On Thursday night, I ran into the burly guy again downstairs in the dorm. He now had a scruffy beard, dark circles under his eyes, and was holding a takeout box from Oliver's restaurant. Seeing me, he immediately approached and spoke.
Mama, don't be mad. It was a misunderstanding.
I was puzzled by his words.
I had someone look into it. The guy last time was the officer who took your statement, right?
So, it turned out that James pretending to be my boyfriend had been exposed, and this guy was back again.
Yes, he wasn't my boyfriend. But I don't like you either.
The guy tightened his grip on the takeout box, looking heartbroken as he handed it to me.
Emma, please don't be mad at me. Forgive me.
Classmate, I really don't know you.
I turned back into the dorm. On Friday afternoon, the sun was shining brightly. I wore the red dress Grace had picked out for me and carefully applied my makeup. But before my sweet date could even begin, James stood me up.
Emma, something came up on my end, and I really can't get away.
It's okay, James. You go ahead.
Wait for me for 2 hours. I'll definitely be back in 2 hours.
It's really okay.
Grassroots police officers have it tough. Once they get busy, who knows when they'll be free. I felt a bit dejected. But visiting an exhibition is like a visual feast, and my spirits were greatly lifted. James was probably just making excuses, so I didn't wait for him. After the exhibition, I quickly took the bus back to school. When I reached the dormitory, James was standing outside. The orange sunset cast a golden outline on his face. Beads of sweat glistened on his forehead, and his chest heaved as if he had just arrived.
Emma, didn't you check your phone messages?
The way he called my name sounded so natural and intimate. My ears started to burn, and I hurriedly rummaged through my bag for my phone.
Sorry, James. I had my phone on silent while on the bus and didn't hear it.
I found my phone and saw 9 missed calls from James and several WeChat messages. At 4:09, he said he had arrived at the Heischer Art Museum and asked where I was. When I didn't reply, he sent another message 10 minutes later saying he was coming to the school to find me.
It's okay. I should be the one apologizing.
James's shadow enveloped me as he spoke, his warm words brushing against my ear, making it itch. I was thinking about suggesting we reschedule when James suddenly stepped forward and quickly pulled me into his arms. Thud! A water bottle hit James's back with a dull thud, then fell to the ground with a crisp sound. The loud noise drew attention, and I saw a black figure with a baseball cap quickly fleeing.
James, are you okay?
It hurts a bit. Let me rest for a moment.
I hesitated, my hand hovering in the air. Through his thin shirt, I could hear James's steady and strong heartbeat. It disrupted my breathing rhythm, making my heart race.
James, are you feeling better?
My nails dug into my palm, my heart pounding.
Emma, be good. Let me rest a bit longer.
His words made me freeze, standing stiffly like a statue. The last rays of the sun disappeared, and James slowly straightened up.
Are you feeling better now?
It hurts when I breathe. But if I could lean on you a bit longer, it would be better.
I was debating whether to let him lean on me longer when James smiled.
Silly, I was kidding. I'm fine now. Emma, let's go back.
Okay, see you later, James.
Emma, see you next time.
When he returned, I stood up immediately.
Officer, I'm a good citizen. I haven't done anything wrong.
I know. With Emma's intelligence, you wouldn't be capable of such things.
Though he spoke the truth, it felt a bit insulting.
By the way, my name is James. I used to attend the Highshire Police Academy.
No wonder you recognized me at a glance. Officer James, do we know each other?
We know each other, but not well.
James smiled meaningfully.
Oh. How so?
All right, let me explain the case to you.
When James returned, Emma immediately stood up and tried to explain herself.
Officer, I'm a good citizen. I haven't done anything wrong.
I know, Emma. With your intelligence, I doubt you could even think of committing any online fraud.
Though his words were true, they felt a bit insulting to Emma.
By the way, my name is Emma. Do we know each other, officer?
Yes, we do. I'm James. I used to attend the Highshire Police Academy.
No wonder he recognized Emma immediately.
Officer James, do we know each other well?
We know each other, but not very well.
Emma was about to ask more questions when James shifted the conversation.
All right, let me explain the case to you.
Emma found herself in. The tension in the room was palpable as James returned with a stack of papers. Emma stood up immediately, her heart pounding.
Officer, I'm a good citizen. I haven't done anything wrong online.
I know, Emma. With your intelligence, you wouldn't be capable of such things.
Although James's words were meant to reassure her, they felt somewhat backhanded.
By the way, my name is James. I used to attend the Highshire Police Academy.
Officer James, do we know each other?
We do, but not well.
Emma was about to inquire further when James shifted the topic abruptly.
All right, let me explain the case to you.
In the interrogation room, a female officer informed me that Thomas was being very stubborn. He insisted that I had deceived him and refused to admit to spreading false rumors. He even demanded to confront me face to face. Before Thomas came in, James walked over to me, gently patted my shoulder, and spoke.
Don't be afraid. I'm here.
When Thomas saw me, he became very agitated. If it weren't for the two officers present, he might have tried to attack me.
Emma, not only did you cheat me out of my money, but you also want to see me in jail. You are truly heartless.
His shouting made me shiver.
This is a police station. Watch your behavior.
Why, has Officer James also been bewitched by her? Emma, you really are a natural temptress.
Enough.
James slammed a stack of evidence in front of him.
Take a good look before you make any conclusions.
Thomas picked up the stack of evidence, and with each page he turned, his face grew paler. Eventually, he completely surrendered and admitted to defaming me. Seeing Thomas's state, I chose to settle the matter privately. After mediation, Thomas would publicly apologize to me, and the school would issue a notice to clear my name. I also decided not to pursue legal action against Thomas. In the police station lobby, Thomas quickly caught up with me.
Emma, thank you for earlier.
It's nothing, you're a victim too.
His ears turned red as he asked hesitantly.
Emma, do you have a boyfriend? If not.
She does. It's me.
Thomas was momentarily taken aback but quickly understood.
Then I won't disturb you too. I'll be going now.
With that, he tactically retreated and disappeared from my sight.
James, why do you keep joking around? If you keep scaring off my suitors, how will I ever find a boyfriend?
How about I make it up to you by being your boyfriend?
Sure, that would be perfect.
And so, because of a fraud case, I ended up with James. Just as I was about to lament how uneventful life was and how James was too much of a gentleman, my mom called.
Emma, tomorrow at 10 a.m., South Lake Road Cafe. Don't forget your blind date.
Oh no, I almost forgot about the blind date.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Just a small matter.
James's eyes darkened slightly.
Oh, then let's go on a date tomorrow morning.
I have something to take care of tomorrow morning, so I can't.
We had just gotten together, and I couldn't tell him I had a blind date. I couldn't argue with my mom either, so I had to handle it myself first.
That's a shame. Well, you go ahead. We have plenty of time.
I breathed a sigh of relief. The next day, when I arrived at the South Lake Road Cafe, James was sitting at the table closest to the entrance, drinking coffee and looking at his phone. It seemed he had been there for a while. He suddenly looked up at me.
I gave an awkward smile and greeted, "Boyfriend, what a coincidence."
James patted the seat next to him, indicating for me to sit down.
It's not a coincidence. I've been waiting for you.
Did he hear my phone call yesterday? It couldn't be that coincidental.
Here for a blind date?
Yes, but let me explain.
No need. I'm your blind date.
Then he pushed his phone towards me. It was a video posted by the school on their public account, collecting photos. The video was paused on a photo. In the photo, I was walking awkwardly, while the stern instructor beside me looked at me with a gentle expression.
I looked at James, then at the stern instructor.
Case solved. It was James.
So, from the moment you saw me at school, you recognized me? And then you kept stringing me along?
Yes.
James smiled like a fox.
Why were you so dark back then?
As soon as I asked, James laughed and explained.
First, I was tanned because I spent a month at the beach that year. Second, I strung you along because I was upset. You used to bring me breakfast every day. When I fell for you, I found out you just wanted to skip some training. You didn't even want my WeChat.
Got it. Every cause has its effect. My karma is you. So, are you still upset now?
James took my hand. If you learn some anti-fraud skills from me, I won't be upset. Silly girl.
I glared at him. Who's the silly one? You love scammer. Annoying!